I'm home. I'm excited. I'm ready. We're recreating this look that Ernesto did on Gwen Stefani. This just makes my makeup heart sing. We're even gonna do just a smidge of some contour. I see that beautiful shadow there. I've got everything to recreate it. Let's go. It feels so good to be home. So I'm doing my brows more like hers. We're gonna do more of a straight brow. I love this brow pencil. I posted a TikTok on it. I need to post it here. But the reason I love it is this shape is actually super cool. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna underline here. And my brows really aren't straight. So we're gonna take them pretty far out this way. And then connect. This is gonna be a lot different than what I normally do in terms of brows, not the makeup. But we're trying to match what Gwen has going on there. And then I love to turn it over to this side and it just kind of shades it and fills it in. And then we'll correct the rest with concealer. Love this. So this is something I don't normally do, and that's carve out the brow, but you know, makeup's fun. And we're gonna really carve this out because Gwen's look pretty defined. So I'm gonna add some brow gel in a second. And then I'm gonna take it this way and really make sure it's nice and straight. It's as straight as we're gonna get it, because I'm not shaving off the other half of this brow. No, I'm tempted. I'm not going to. I come back and I have half of it shaved. I am gonna brag on the C30 just a second. If you want precision, whether that be around your brows, lips, eyeshadow, eyeliner, this is the brush. I wanted the sharpest, most precise concealer brush ever, and that's what we did here. Now I'm just going to go back over with my Too Faced brow stuff that I always use. I believe it's called a brow wax. I wanted to call it a gel, but a gel and a wax are a little bit different, just different in formula. So let's just let that sit for a second. Then I just run my spoolie through. And then, what you're seeing me do is wipe off excess. Excess is where things tend to get a little messy. Now I'm taking the actual spoolie side, not the little teethy side. I'm just kind of pushing them where they go. It's as straight as we're getting without getting the razor. We're gonna need some clean canvas. I'm gonna use the shade Fair today, just because I want to make sure that these shadows are very warm and very true. I'm going to start with powder eyeshadows, and then we're going to add a little bit. Oh, what am I saying? I'm going to show you later. We're just having fun. It just feels so good to be back. And now I have an elbow filled or covered with clean canvas. It's thundering. Got it. Apparently I've forgotten how to do makeup. There's Feral over here having fun. You know what is really cool? The look I'm recreating, our brushes, they were used to create that look on Gwen. And that just blows my mind. It's a lot. And sometimes if I sit and dwell on it, I'll get a little bit emotional. Good emotional, but emotional. So it's really cool. We're using the same brushes. So I actually purchased these palettes, and I believe that I definitely purchased the eyeliner, and there was something else I purchased when Give Beauty first came out. And I tried to tell y'all that these were so cool, and at the time there wasn't a lot of cool tones going around, and they had them, and I was like, wow. So I've used these palettes a lot, but you know, I don't see a lot of other people using them, and I think that they're fantastic. I like them more than most of the quads, the four eyeshadow palettes that are at Sephora. They're probably my favorite quads there. So I've talked about these a lot. In fact, at the beginning I was talking about them so much, but I tried to tell y'all. So I'm gonna grab this shade here, grabbing that on our E28. And I'm just gonna go ahead and warm up our crease. This one is definitely a warmer color. Really beautiful. Nice texture. Oh, and then these are all mattes as well. Picking up some more, and we'll press it over this way. I'll just let this run till it runs out so you can see the blending process. Look how smooth that is. So now we're transitioning and creating another transition out of the one color. And now from our crease almost to our brow bone is nice and set. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more. All I did was one swipe on one side, and then I'm gonna darken it over here a little bit more. So I added a little bit more. We're gonna start this shape right now. It's very lifted here. Oh, there's a goblin in the room. Decided to take a bath. Gene Bean. How much have we missed? Oh, and has the sniffles? So much sniffling over there. Whew, that was a lot all at once. Nice. Hey, it's gonna get a little wild, but I want to teach you something because you know what? I have faith in you and you can absolutely do this. And why I'm prefacing all of this is because we're gonna take one of the liquid shadows. Now, these are extremely pigmented. Love these. You're gonna see these a lot more. In fact, you were gonna see them all week, but it's been chaos. Travel chaos. So what I'm gonna do, I want you to see exactly how much I'm gonna pick up and where I'm picking up from. I'm not gonna pick up from here. I am gonna pick up from over here, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this into the socket, and if you can't shut one eye at a time, you can always tilt your head back. It sounds a lot scarier outside than what it is. And I'm gonna pick up that same amount again, and it's better to pick up too little than too much, please. And also, I want you to pick it up on the tip of the brush because you're gonna have the most control with the tip of the brush. And these are so thin that you can layer them on top of what we're doing right now. So these are a very fluffy formula, and they're very, 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 very light but pigmented. They're even more light than a liquid eyeshadow. So that's why these are gonna be okay going on top of the powder that we already have on here. And you can see that they just transition in there really nicely. We'll bring it over this way just a little bit. But in case you were wondering, I always like to explain things. I always wanted someone to explain to me even the formula. Why are we able to do that? It's a really cool formula. It's really, really puffy, but then once it dries, it's not completely dry yet, so it is gonna smudge. But as you can see, this part's been dry, they do not move. This will stay on my hand for 1,000 years. This is who I am now. So I'm not gonna remove the base, but I am gonna really smooth it out. And if a little bit comes off, that's good. You're gonna see why. You will see why. But again, like I talked about, we can layer this one a little bit more because it's a really light formula. I am looking for top knot. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and paint this on. We're gonna layer some more stuff on top of it, but this is going to be our, did you hear that? I am a pirate. That's who I am. Let's grab our same C30 and then we're gonna grab this shade. And this is gonna go all over. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Beautiful color. So I'm not going to just kind of go in here and get wild in terms of it being a perfect cut crease. We can soften that later. But we can do a little bit of cleanup through here. Nice. Now, if I've taught you anything, it's that we're gonna leave space because we're gonna do a smoky wing. So where we're leaving space is here. See all that space I left? And I left quite a bit. It's actually just gonna help us keep our blacks very black and tidy later instead of mixing in with this shimmer. Look how pretty that is. These are really beautiful. Now we are absolutely gonna need an E27 for this. This shape for smoking out is absolutely perfect because it's just a little baby thing. We're gonna need it. I'm telling you. So let's grab this. I've used this many times before. I mean, it's getting short. Love this one, and I love the dry time, and look at how black it is. Okay, so we're just gonna start with that. And if you'll notice, It's important. Do you notice I didn't extend it? And the reason why is because it's gonna do a lot of extending itself. So I'm not gonna worry about making that wing. For one thing, the brush is gonna do it for me. Watch this. See that? Now we are gonna layer because that's how we get that smoky goodness. Look at that, nice. So now that we pulled that where we wanted it, let's start to smoke this out. And I'm just tapping. But we do want to do this before the liner sets. Now we're going to add some more of the liner at the roots here, the roots of the lash. See how you can really see that ombre now? And we're going to tap this right under again. And do not worry about underneath here. That's the easy part. Tap it one more time. And then I'll just do this until I'm satisfied. C30 micellar water, of course. I'm gonna clean that up. Can we just appreciate this to this to this to this transition? I love makeup. Now we're gonna add our mascara. This is the mascara that Ernesto would have used on Gwen. Although she definitely has falsies on it. We're gonna be wearing a big old baddie falsies. It's part of the reason I just fell in love with the look. Y'all know how much I love an extra large flared lash. I will say we're gonna come back and go underneath here, and you can see the tip of the mascara wand. It's like a little sphere. It's so great for bottom lashes. We love that. Okay, I'm going to go find some falsies now. Let's grab these. These are called Super Moons, and they look so close to what Gwen has on in the picture. It's so fluffy. I love big floofers like this. So what makes this look kind of the look is that everything kind of needs to be pointing towards your temple. So I'm going to take my pinchies here. These are from House of Lashes. And I'm just going to make sure these are pinched. And as they dry, I want them to dry upwards. So I don't want them to point down in any way. And just kind of hold them there. So I was pinching them together with my natural lash. And then we'll hold them just a little bit as they dry. So we're testing out this new Guerlain foundation. I've literally just swatched it. I'm trying to figure out what shade I like better. Maybe like that one. This is not, okay, when I go to put this on, listen, it's gonna terrify you because this is the swatches dried down and they're not even completely dried down, but I can kind of tell from where they're at. I think I might go with the more peachy one. I can't tell because they're not dry. This one just looks a hair more yellow, and if it's yellow at all, I'd rather just go with something that has a lot more peach in it because I'm so peachy pink down here. So I think I'm just gonna go with this one. We're gonna try it out. Oh, by the way, the one I went with was 3C. Heavily scented. Do I like the scent? Absolutely, but I like to make sure that y'all know what's going on. Heavily scented. It smells like flowers, but it's nice. Ooh, that match. Let's wait for it to dry. I'm talking like old-timey makeup smells, and by old-timey, I mean when I was little, almost 35 years ago. Pretty finish. Very natural finish. Let me add a little bit more here. See that difference? Such a big difference. That's why it's so important to actually try the foundation on, swatch it, and let it dry before we pick a color. Okay, I'm really vibing with the foundation. The finish is gorgeous. It's a very natural finish. I feel like it has medium coverage, light to medium, I should say. I love that match. That looks so pretty. Let's put some on my forehead. I already have some on this side of my forehead, just trying to finish up the other side. Our C42 is C42ing. I love how even though this brush is definitely a foundation brush, you still have really nice precision to go around your brows. And I thought of that because I always do my brows first. So see how it just kind of stops and fits perfectly there? We love that. So I'm gonna grab this, one of the Ulla Henriksen sticks. This is the shade Apricot. And the reason why is because whenever I wear dark eyeshadows, I do like a little bit of color corrector, but also this concealer here, I love it, but it's a smidgy too light for me. So let me work this in first. We'll grab that, our C31 for this. Okay, perfect. Just kind of smooth that out. Snort! He's a snorting boy. Okay, I was filming this, but it wouldn't upload. Hopefully this one uploads. So we have our ABH concealer, and I'm gonna do a little bit more here. This one's extremely full coverage. It's pretty thick. I will say it's pretty thick, but if your skin has really nice skin prep, it does just glide on beautifully. You're about to see that right now. And again, I did that corrector underneath my eyes just for a little bit of balance. Whenever our concealer is too light and we don't have a corrector to balance it underneath there, it can end up just kind of doing the opposite, casting more shadows, looking gray, just all over betraying us. So a little bit of corrector underneath there is never a bad idea, especially if you have concealers that tend to be on the extreme light side. So we can get a really nice brightening effect with them, but I highly recommend the corrector underneath the eye. We don't need that corrector here. I was saying we don't need the color corrector other places because, as you can see, this sticks out further. It's not going to have a shadow. The top of my nose sticks out further. It's not going to have a shadow. But underneath my eyes, it's going to have shadows. You can even see here. And even these lashes are going to cast shadows because they're just mighty floofy. So any place that goes in, it's nice to have that corrector underneath it. So I haven't set my face yet. There's no powder. I'm thinking that there's really not bronzer. See how it's not warm around her hairline? What I'm thinking is there's just a little bit of nice contour. I'm gonna grab Kevin & Kwan for that. We'll get into that. But what I am gonna do before I add powders, I'm gonna add a pink blush, a very classic pink, red pink. It's not a cool pink, it's a warmer pink. It's not looking like bubblegum. So I'll see how this blends out. I'm pretty sure that this might do it. Once it mixes in with that concealer there, like I said, nothing's set and I have no bronzer on. Once it mixes in with that, it's gonna lighten it. And if it is too red, we can always just fix it later with a little bit more pink on top. But to me, there you go. It's transforming into what I needed it to. A lot of times we forget that we can manipulate these colors with what we already have on our face. So even though this is pretty strawberry, right? Once it gets on my face and it starts to mix with that concealer, we get the color we're looking for. And I know for a fact Ernesto uses this brush on Gwen. We love the C41. I'll take what's left and just do a little here. And we're not gonna do bronzer. Let's get into some contour. Now I'm gonna set with my Givenchy powder and the setting puff. And then we'll go on top of that. I'm gonna go ahead and set the center as well. I'm also just gonna use whatever's left and go ahead and set over here. And then we're gonna grab our contour. I didn't grab any more powder, just whatever's left here on the puff. Perfect. Okay, so this, I was gonna use the Kevin & Kwan, but I already have this out and that's a good contour shade. This is exciting. We love a 2-for-1 special. So we're gonna grab this on our C40. Okay, see where I grabbed it all in the center of the brush. We're gonna take that. And we're gonna do a crash course very quickly. Contour is normally a very cool tone and bronzers are very warm. So when I talk about bronzer, I talk about how bronzer can migrate. Bronzer could go all the way up here, and the reason why is because the sun would hit there. But if I'm doing a contour, I don't have any on. And do you see how this is really cool here? We're just wanting to mimic that and enhance that. So that eyeshadow is gonna be the same color. I'm gonna go a little above. So I'm not going to take that shadow where my natural contour is down here. I'm kind of going in the center, and then we're just going to enhance that a little bit more. It can go up just a little bit, but not too much. Not too much migration. This looks so good. I love it. I'm having so much fun. Okay, let's finish underneath the eye. Should just have some black smudgy here on our E27 left. And I'm just going to press the, yep, perfect. Just a little bit, a little whisper. It's just gonna actually make our lashes look a little thicker underneath here. That looks good. Let's finish over here. Then I'm gonna go back into the warm shade. Remember the first one that we grabbed? We're just gonna grab that and warm that up underneath here. That looks perfect. And I did wipe this on Sheila. I wiped my E27 on Sheila. Now back into the mascara. This one is so good for bottom lashes too. So I like to coat them that way, and then I kind of want them to look a little spiky. So I'm just going to go back and forth. See how it just kind of made them look a little bit more piecey? Love. Okay, so I just DM'd Ernesto. He said he used this one. Let me double check. This is Dazzle. He said he used this one all over the lid. Kind of just on top. These are feral in the best way. Wow. That's gorgeous. Ooh, I can't wait to use this one again. I actually have not used these yet. Used everything else from the brand, but not these. Just gonna intensify. Beautiful. And then he said he did this shade, which is Glimmer. Why am I yelling? I'll tell you what, I'm excited. This one was on the inner corner. And then he said he pulled this one towards the front. I'm excited to use these. These are stunning. I'm gonna be adding this one on my inner corner every day. Woo, look at that. This is the lip she has on in the picture. This is a liquid lipstick, so this one's, once it dries, it's not going to move. Okay, look. Do you see what I just did? I'm also going to shut that. We're going to grab the lip liner she has on, and we're going to start to perfect. And the reason I'm working in sections, liquid lipsticks, they want to dry. Also, I'm not going to press my lips together. They want to dry very quickly, so it's better to work in sections so you can really perfect. And I'm doing the lip liner so I can mix it in. And it's gonna stay. This ain't gonna move. This ain't going nowhere. Let's go ahead and fit. Look how funny that looks. Just like painting a painting. This formula is beautiful. It smells like vanilla too. I love the way it smells. I think I'll go over the top just a little bit here like Gwen has. Just a little. I'll whisper while we do it. So I think I'm just gonna lighten up my brow bone a little bit with some white eyeshadow. Just grab whatever white eyeshadow you have. I'm gonna grab it on a C30 and I'm just gonna tap that. Her brows are still gonna be straighter than mine. But this is all we're getting. Don't y'all have me shave my eyebrow off. All right, listen. That is so spot on. I love makeup. Major shout out to Ernesto. You're amazing and I love you so much. Gwen, you're stunning. Just stunning. I love this. This look just, it spoke to my makeup heart, so I had to recreate it. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Now I'm gonna go take all this off and film some more videos. I have a couple helpful ideas that I need to get out of my head, so I've got a lot of filming to do. Feels so good to be back. I'm back. I'm not going nowhere, and we're gonna do a tutorial tomorrow. But in the meantime, I guess I'll see you in the comments tonight. I love you so much.